Hello everyone, and welcome to what I think will be episode 8 of Two Fat Gingers Have a Conversation.
Yes, welcome. I am in Brisbane, and I've been doing things in Brisbane.
What have you been doing in Brisbane?
Today I went to the koala sanctuary, the Lone Pines Koala Sanctuary, and I held a koala bear.
Is that nice? They always look very cuddly, but then they've got those talon claw things.
No, it was lovely. It was like holding a big bundle of happiness.
Do they purr or make happy noises? Or
No, they just kind of lie against you and go to sleep.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
And the one I held was called Major.
Okay.
He was very friendly, and he looked towards the camera, which was nice.
Okay.
Because obviously we got the whole photograph thing done.
Of course.
And yes, they're lovely. And the place is filled with them, being a koala sanctuary, but they're not behind cages and stuff. It's quite open. But I didn't know this. Koalas sleep 20 hours a day.
Wow. I'm so jealous.
And the other 4 hours they eat eucalyptus leaves.
Which makes them a little bit stoned, apparently.
Yes, makes them really stoned, I believe. But yeah, so they eat for 4 hours and sleep for 20.
It sounds perfect.
And koalas are not bears.
What are they then?
Marsupials.
Okay, and a marsupial is a thing with a pouch. A mammal with a pouch, yeah?
I honestly don't know whether that's true or not. That's one for Google for people. But we were told that they're not koala bears, they're just koala, which means something like no water in Aborigine, because koalas don't come out of the trees to drink much water. They get most of the liquid sustenance from the eucalyptus leaves as well.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Welcome to Two Fat Gingers Have a Conversation. Today, we're having a fact attack.
Yeah, well, we never said what the conversation would be about.
No, indeed.
So,
indeed.
I mean, it seems perfectly reasonable.
And I also held a snake.
I saw this. You sent me the photo of you with the snake. Was that terrifying?
It wasn't as terrifying as I thought it was going to be. I'm not a huge fan of snakes. Anything bigger than a 12-inch snake scares me. Ha ha. Fnar.
Yep.
No, I mean, going into pet shops and things like that, Denise has obviously held snakes and things like that before, and I handed them to me, and they're wriggly. They're usually quite small, and they're wriggly, and they move without legs. And I think anything that moves on land without legs is probably the work of the devil, as per what the Bible tells me. But this thing was quite big, so I think probably 5 or 6 feet long, black-headed python, and it was quite docile, which was nice. Although just after the guy took the photo, I was the last person getting my photo taken with the snake. And just after the guy took the photo, the chap who was looking after the snake decided he wanted to engage me in some conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And the snake started moving about and turned its head and started rubbing its head up the side of my arm. And I thought, it's going to kill me now. It's going to wrap its ray around my neck, constrict me, and then eat my head whole. But no, it didn't. It was quite docile. But yeah, it's very, very strange, heavy. So the koala bear was lighter than he looked, and the snake was heavier.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I suppose it's a lump of muscle, isn't it?
It's pretty much, yeah. But no, I mean, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, because I decided to do it because I thought I don't have a phobia of snakes. I just have a dislike, if that makes sense. And I thought, well, this is something which I don't feel comfortable with, puts me out of my comfort zone. So, obviously it's a good idea to do it.
Yeah, well, you have a chance.
Easier. Yeah, I didn't have any apprehension beforehand. I didn't have any panic or anything. I wouldn't say it was the most comfortable I've ever been, but yeah, it was okay. I also stroked a dingo.
This is sounding more and more euphemistic as it goes on.
No, dingo is a wild dog in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the largest on-land carnivore in Australia. And they're about the same size as a Labrador, and just about as cute as well. Obviously, these were quite tame dingoes, but I stroked a dingo. Mm-hmm. And I also fed and stroked kangaroos. So you can walk into a big field with kangaroos just jumping all about you, and there's emu in.
And you can they're supposed to be nasty.
Oh no, these were big friendly things,
Okay.
just kind of bopping about. And the kangaroos were just jumping about and would come to you. You'd feed them, and then they'd lie at your feet, and you'd stroke them and get your photo taken. There wasn't an official photographer type thing, so I had to, because I'm out here not on personal business.
Mm-hmm.
I was there on my own, so I had to ask a nice couple if they would, take a photo of me with my my new friend Joey. How you doing? Yeah,
Dear.
that's right. I named him Joey. So yeah, I mean, all in all, it's quite magical. And I don't think I got chlamydia from the koala bear because I did wear a condom. It looked a bit strange.
Can I ask where you wore your condom?
On my hands, obviously.
Right. Okay, good, because nothing else should really have been involved.
Well, no. That's the whole new snake territory there, isn't it?
Well, indeed.
So yeah, no, it was fantastic. And of course, we sailed down the Brisbane River to get there, and we sailed back up the Brisbane River. So it was an hour of sailing down this big river. I didn't see any sharks. I was looking. I did see some snakes in the trees, which is a little freaky because
snakes in the trees,
quite big. Yes,
of course.
in the mangroves or whatever they call them.
Yeah. Okay.
There was a big. It was pale. Being colorblind, I don't really know what color it was, but it was pale. It was a big coiled snake in the tree, and I was like, "Oh, that's a big coiled snake. Oh, this is the wild. There's no fence there. I don't want to get too close." And of course, there was loads of people gathered around and everything, so I didn't get a chance to get a photograph because everybody was squeezing to try and see this big snake. And I thought, I'll take one step back and then it can attack. Get some of these people out of my way, and then I'll get a photograph.
So I'm a little jealous. I've no ambitions, particularly around koalas. They're cute and all, and that's nice, but I would like to hold a snake. And my friend has one, and she never lets me. Behave yourself. She has a corn snake called Diesel, who's lovely. Oh, before I forget, I have to remember this. I need to do a shout-out to a fan of ours.
No, a shout-out to a fan. Okay, so I thought you were going to do a shout-out because you mentioned Diesel and it was Kevin Nash's birthday this week. Nope. I thought you were going to do a Kevin Nash birthday shout-out, but fail.
No, but there we are. Happy birthday, Kevin Nash. So that's nice.
He's obviously listening.
But no, we have a fan. We have a fan, a special little lady called Kira, who's a good girl.
Okay.
There we go. I was told yesterday that a friend of mine was listening to us on her tablet in her living room, and my voice was coming out of the speakers, and her dog who knows me is called Kira, and was doing the sideways head thing at the tablet, which I just thought was adorable. So perhaps she'll do it again there.
Perhaps, yes. It certainly puts my mind at ease because I thought we were about to get into an awful lot of trouble.
I think the good girl bit should have been really a clue.
It should have been
the way I said it.
It was a clue, but also a concern. If this was not a dog, this is a warped relationship.
Well, indeed. Do you want to say hello to any of your pets?
No, I speak to them daily.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
The cats, when I do this at home, the cats sleep in the room with me. So, they get to hear it live before all of the bad jokes are taken out.
They're probably quite good. Those noise-absorbing tiles that you see in all these professional studios?
Yeah.
I guess a cat would be a fairly good noise-absorbing thing. Curtains are good and stuff like that. Fabric, generally.
Really? Yes, I actually used Yoda before I got my pop shield. I just sit in front of the microphone and speak through him.
Wow. That's Yoda the cat, people, as opposed to Yoda the Jedi Master.
Yes, which one of us is going to do the bad Yoda impression? Mine is rude.
Yeah, mine's really bad as well. I was just going to make a joke about the fact that if you'd spoken through Yoda the Jedi Master, your words would all have been the wrong way around. Indeed.
Dyslexic he is. I'm not going to try and do the voice, obviously.
No, and I'm trying really, really hard not to do a herm. Yeah. So moving on from Yoda. Yes. So
on that, have you seen the bad lip sync of Star Wars with Yoda, and it's called Seagulls?
No.
Okay, it's insanely funny. It shouldn't be. It should be absolutely terrible, but it is really funny. It's on YouTube. People go and listen to it. It's called Seagulls. Star Wars bad lip sync Seagulls.
We perhaps will post a link.
Oh,
when we
can
put
we
this
do
up.
things like that?
We can. You just put it in your post. Yeah. See.
Oh. Hey, technology.
Mm-hmm.
Before you know it, we'll be able to upload videos to some sort of website where people can go watch them. So yesterday, I did something different. So I went around art galleries and science museums and things
I
like
don't
that.
believe you. Nope.
I did, mostly
You are
because
not that upmarket.
they're free. In Brisbane, they're free.
Okay.
And I was trying to get steps in, on my whole pedometry thing. So I was trying to get steps in on my generic Fitbit. Oh, sorry. Damn it. I named the brand.
I've said it before. If people want to send us free stuff, they can.
Okay,
I have
need
no
to
problem
say
with
this.
this.
I like my Fitbit Blaze. I got a Fitbit Blaze because my other Fitbit fell apart because the ones with rubber straps fall apart really easily. The rubber and sticks, they're awful. Fitbit are very good about replacing them without argument, but still, it's a pain in the ass.
Which one is the Blaze?
So the Blaze is with the screen that's more like a digital, like a smartwatch. It pops out and goes, but it doesn't have that plastic rubber bit that unsticks. It has a proper rubber strap type thing. Anyway, so I was at these art galleries, upmarket, showing my intelligence and learning about pictures and shit like that. And there's a Marvel exhibition, a Marvel movies exhibition in the Gallery of Modern Art. So I went to that, and it was very, very good. Lots of props from the movies, the making of. They had the first issue of every major Marvel character that's appeared in the films.
Props for going to it as well.
So I went to that, and yeah, it was very good. It was very interesting. Lots of children running around, which was kind of... So I get why you would take a child to it, because it's Marvel. However, the kids were obviously exceptionally bored looking at all the things that the adults want to look at. And because they were playing clips of the movies, so they had a section for each major character or movie, should I say. So they had a Guardians of the Galaxy one, Thor and Iron Man and all that kind of good stuff. And they were playing bits of the movies in there. So all the kids did was congregate around and stand around in front of everything, watching the movie bits. So you couldn't get in to read any of the information. You had to kind of wade through the children.
Yes.
And I think, and I get why you would take kids to that, because, it's Marvel. But at the same time, the kids seemed to have no interest in the actual artifacts that were there. Anyway, that's a side note.
This is why I, just incidentally, this is why I, as a man with no children, as an adult with no children indeed, take my holidays when kids are not off, and so I can do these types of things through the week when I don't have to fight with them. Fight with the feral gangs of children that roam this city. Yes,
this Mad Max type children. But they had first editions of all the comics where the characters first appeared, if that makes sense.
Nice, yeah.
All behind a security thing and stuff like that. But they did have a very small section on the new Thor Ragnarok movie.
Okay, cool.
So they had some of the artwork for it and props, and they had what's obviously Hulk's bed on this planet. Planet Hulk is the background for that. But on this planet, it's like a big set of crocodile jaws, but obviously it wasn't a crocodile. It's a big bed and everything. And it got me thinking how little build-up there has been for Thor Ragnarok. It's released in 4 months.
It's in 4 months still. I think there's still time for build-up. I mean, there's been a lot of fuss when the trailers have been released.
There has, but
I actually thought it was closer than that.
No, it's November, I think. I think it's November it's coming out. But I'm just looking back, even Black Panther, which doesn't come out till next year, seems to have more going for it than Ragnarok does, which makes me worry that it's a dud, to be honest. It makes me worry that it's a bit of a dud.
I don't know. I think it's, as I say, it doesn't feel unusual to me. It feels like it's crept up a little bit, which I guess is what you're getting at, but I don't think... It's hard to measure it against a movie that is so far in the future, because there's fuss about movies when something drops now. Like when something drops, then there's a buzz about it then. There doesn't seem to be, for many things, like a constant buzz. I mean, there's not even a constant buzz for the next Star Wars film. That, thing comes out, all the fuss, and then quietens down, which might be to do with the attention spans of people today and such.
It may be, but I think if you ask most people, do you know that the Thor movie is this year? I reckon a lot of folk would say no. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it's only a few months away.
Yeah, but then maybe that's not unusual for most movies for most people.
I don't know. I think if you ask anyone when the new Star Wars film is, most people will know it comes out this year. I think most people knew Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was this year. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's being rolled out with any great marketing push, which, let's face it, we really don't like marketing that much. But
no, if it's got 4 months, I mean, they'll all be doing the rounds when the time comes. I think we'll see it ramp up. I think it's more how things are marketed in this day and age rather than that there's anything to worry about the movie.
Possibly, it would be a shame.
Not that there won't be.
It would be a shame if there was a dud, because the guy who made it, the guy who directed it, the only other film of his that I know about and I've seen is a New Zealand film called The Hunt for the Wilder People.
Ah, yes, of course.
Have you seen it?
I've not seen it, no. No, it's one of these I'll catch at some point, but it doesn't immediately excite me. So
I would say don't catch at some point. Go onto Netflix and watch it as soon as you can.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. Other legal video streaming sites are available, but they're generally shit, and Netflix is quite good. You just
implied that Netflix isn't legal.
I said other legal.
I know, but it's just the sort of other legal things is there, but Netflix is the best. Almost implying that Netflix
I didn't want to encourage illegal streaming.
No.
You know my views on this.
No, I get that. That's absolutely fine. It just the way it came out, it just sounded like you were suggesting Netflix wasn't legal, which Netflix lawyers, we are not suggesting at all.
Not at all. And we're big fans of Netflix.
Big fans of Netflix.
I pay Netflix a lot of money.
I did. I'm off Netflix at the moment.
Hey, you like this? Just while we talk about illegal things in movies, when I went to see Spider-Man: Homecoming, the guy next to me picked up his phone and started filming it at the start.
No way!
And I nudged him, and I was like, "No." And he just, I'm just, it'll be on. It's like, you put it away, or I'm going to get somebody to take you out.
Wow!
And I realize now that sounds like an assassin. But no, I was not having that. I was not having that. I mean, seriously, sitting with your phone trying to hide it, recording a movie in a cinema.
I applaud your brass nakedness. I think I would have sat there and shook my head and tutted in a very British way.
No, people using their phones full stop once the movie starts. It pisses me off during the trailers even, but once the movie starts, if someone near me has that light flying up on their phone, it'll be a case of, I've said it said it before. Denise and I went to see Wonder Woman, and somebody started answering a text about 5 minutes in, and I just turned to them and said, "Do me a favor and put that away." And you could see them looking at me for a couple of seconds as if, how do I respond to this?
Yeah.
Nobody ever says anything.
No, and I've honestly, many is the time I wish I had. There was one of the many times I went to see a Star Wars movie, one of the prequels it must have been, in the cinema, and there was a woman there with her kid, and she was basically explaining things to her kid throughout the whole movie, and she answered a phone call. And nobody said anything to her, and you just sat there thinking, I wish that I had the cojones to just go and do it, but too British.
I don't think she would have liked me, because I would have said something.
Good, I wish you'd been there.
People are paying for this. Mm-hmm. If you want to answer your phone, if you want to be on your phone, don't go to the film.
Yes.
Or if your phone goes and you think it might be something urgent, get up and walk out.
But yes, and I appreciate that you can't leave your kid by doing that, but that's the problem you have. If you came here and you're going to prioritize a phone call over it, then you need to take your kid with you and get out.
Yeah. I mean, you're taking away from other people. It's a form of escape.
Agreed.
That's why the room goes dark. Everything's focused on the screen. It's to take you into whatever you're watching.
And you're told. I mean, what movie starts now that doesn't tell you to turn your phone off? Exactly. Not silent. It tells you to turn your phone off. Indeed. Mine goes onto airplane mode, which even then is still ridiculous. I mean, it's for goodness sake. My life is so important. My phone is so important that I can't take maybe 30 seconds to actually switch the phone on again. Something that might have happened in my life in the last 2 hours, whatever, that is so important I can't wait 30 seconds to hear it. It's a nonsense.
Your dating profile is blown up while you're in the cinema.
Yeah, that's unlikely to happen. My dating profile's been switched off for some years now.
Yeah, well,
too dangerous.
Is it too dangerous?
Oh God, yes.
You're a catch. You are
Yeah,
a catch.
exactly.
In fact, on that, there was. I'm going whale watching next weekend, and
I don't like this connection.
I was reading
Not
that
to be said, stay away.
a humpback whale got caught in the shark nets off of Queensland, off the Queensland coast. So, but you're a catch too,
right? You know that I can put like an effect in your voice to make you sound squeaky and everything when I edit it.
I could probably do that myself. All I need is a little bit of helium.
Obviously, in a hotel room, I've got helium balloons everywhere.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So nice to tell that.
Party streamers.
Right.
So on the hotel, I'm not going to say which hotel it is, but
in case the fans queue up outside.
In case the fans queue up outside.
Tell us the name of it. Tell us the is it a chain?
It's a chain, but I'm not going to
tell us the chain.
There's only one here, and I'm not going to say it because I'm not advertising this hotel because it's been blatantly average, and I'm not paying for it, so that's fine.
Yeah, but you might get a free upgrade.
We
can be hotel reviewers.
I'm in the upgrade room already.
Okay.
So, but there's a bar on the roof because it's Brisbane and everything's fancy and all that. And on Monday nights they have some sort of Victoria's Secret thing going on in that bar. I just thought I'd say that.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
That's getting a Google.
I couldn't find it on Google. I couldn't find the details of it on Google, so I don't know if it's private, if it's a private event type thing. But yeah, there was some sort of Victoria's Secret thing going on, and people walking out because I was playing poker, so because they do a friendly poker night thing as well. So I was playing poker, but it's like, what are these people doing?
These people wander about in lingerie.
These are not normal people. Well, they weren't in. They were walking through to the bit in probably very expensive clothes, but you're paying a lot per inch of fabric, shall we say? And then somebody mentioned, well, it's actually through on the other side of the private part of that bar. There's Monday night. It's a Victoria's Secret thing. It's like
So they may well have been in lingerie.
And I chose poker.
Just was hidden. Yeah. You're not wise. But then if it was private, maybe you wouldn't have gotten in.
No, probably not, because it was, Star Wars pajamas and a T-shirt,
Yeah.
Trying to put the other poker players off.
Star Wars pajamas, I don't know. I figure I've seen stranger.
In a bar?
I mean, if you turned up there in lingerie, now that might have put some people off.
And it might have put some people on, which is the worrying thing.
Well, you've always got that risk.
Yeah. But anyway, we've digressed. I was speaking about Marvel, wasn't I? How did we get here? Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yes.
I watched Mad Max Fury Road last night.
You must have seen that before, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I saw it in the cinema many moons ago. I watched it again, and it's still crazy. It's still highly entertaining, and it's still not about Max at all. So
it's maybe time I did a rewatch of that. I think it was Brexit Day that I watched it. Was it Brexit Day, or was it? It might have been Scottish Independence Referendum Day. I was in a train journey anyway, going away down to Englandshire.
Yeah,
I remember watching a few movies.
Brexit Day was only a year ago, so.
It must have been further away than that.
Yeah, it must have been your Independence Day, or not Independence Day.
Your Independence Day. Nice. It's like you don't live here when you're not in Brisbane.
Well, that's. I wasn't there when the vote happened, so.
Yeah, I guess not. No. So
I didn't
on the subject of snakes and the like.
Thank God! I thought we were going to speak about independence there.
No, not at all. No, we're not ready for politics yet, or indeed religion.
Well, we are. We can do some politics, but it's got to be lightly humoured, poking fun at Donald Trump.
Well, I don't know. He seems to do that himself. I've just finished a cup of. I was just going to say I've just finished a cup of coffee there. But yes, when you were in Houston, we saw gators. But are there snakes there? Are there wild snakes in Houston?
Oh yes. I didn't see any. Well, no, I tell a lie. The cats used to bring in small snakes, 6 or 7 inches. They're some sort of grass snake or something. They're completely harmless.
What kind of were they? Like red and black striped, or?
Oh no, they were just kind of little browny things. Okay. Very pencil thin. And then one time,
the snake that my friend has was tiny when she got it as well, and it's I think that's a grass snake.
No, these things are definitely tiny snakes. They don't grow very big.
Grass snake starts tiny and grows. It's a fairly hefty beast of a thing now.
Yeah, So the snake's got a name, but it lives in the grass and gardens type thing. I can't remember what it was called. And we saw a small juvenile snake one time swimming through some of the water in Brazos Bend. That could have been something, but it was too small to really. Again, it was maybe only 7 or 8 inches long, but it was coloured yellow stripes type thing through it or something. So it could have been a something snake, but it looked quite juvenile. But yes, Texas, you get rattlesnakes, obviously.
Indeed, it just occurred to me there.
Yeah. You also get copperheads, which are quite venomous.
Okay.
But I saw the most at this place today, at Lone Pines today. And big shout out to Miramar Cruises, who took us down the river and played a channel of interesting Brisbane history stuff.
Cool.
So big shout out to them. I'll tag them on the post as well, because it was a lovely little jaunt down the river and everything, and very informative, and it was good. Anyway, so at this Lone Pines Koala Sanctuary, they have behind glass the most venomous land snake in the world, which is prevalent in Australia, but I don't think Brisbane's got much of a problem with it. And I just before I started this, I could remember what its name was. A taipan. I think it's called a taipan snake, something like that. The most venomous land snake in the world.
The inland taipan.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
So
the inland taipan, big long Latin name, is considered the most venomous snake in the world, with a something value of 0.025 milligrams per kilogram SC.
Yeah, because they mentioned so interesting facts. I mean, I have learned so much in the last 2 days about Brisbane, about art, certain types of art, not just Marvel, but also koala bears and things like that. So there's a snake out here. I think it's called the brown snake, and it's quite common. It's quite venomous, but most of its bites, apparently, if it bites in defense, it quite often doesn't release its venom in its bite.
Okay.
Which I think is very nice of it.
It is, blessed.
It's like you're pissing me off. I'm giving you a warning here. I'm sure it hurts. Can't imagine that wouldn't not hurt. But it gives you that warning of, I'm going to bite you, but I'm not going to kill you yet. Keep going, and you're on a slab, my friend. According
to Wikipedia, the eastern brown snake, which I guess is what you're talking about just now, is responsible for still, despite its this not necessarily releasing its venom every time, still responsible for more deaths every year in Australia than any other group of snakes. Whereas your inland taipan is known to be shy, reclusive, and laid back. It will nearly always slither away from a disturbance. It's not an aggressive species and rarely strikes.
Well, there you go.
But that's, of course, Wikipedia, which is barely more than random ranty man in the street sometimes. So.
Sometimes, but it sounds plausible.
Yeah, absolutely.
It sounds entirely plausible. It's been an interesting time for me. I also bought tickets to go see The Bodyguard in the theater in a couple of weeks. So
The Bodyguard,
yes,
like Whitney Houston.
And I will always love you.
Okay then.
Yes, that one.
Good. I have to say that doesn't immediately appeal, but okay.
I don't know. I mean, there was something about the film. It wasn't the most highbrow film in the world, I would say, but it had a certain charm, and it had Kevin Costner, and Kevin Costner's always a bit of fun. I don't think the play has Kevin Costner, but
No, I've seen it. I've certainly seen the film, but no more than once, and so long ago. But I'm not inclined to go back and watch it again.
But I'm not a big Whitney Houston fan, as my wife will say.
She had an amazing singing voice.
Yeah, some of the songs from the film were quite catchy. So it's a musical. It's going to be the music's going to be good, and hopefully the stage performances and sets and everything will be good. And I can imagine it'll be quite good. Perhaps not as good as The Hitman's Bodyguard, future film coming with Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes, which I have just begun to read about in Empire.
Yes, match made in heaven, quite possibly.
The interview certainly starts in a somewhat chaotic manner. Sometimes you get an interview and it's quite to the point, quite serious, and all like that. And sometimes you get an interview where they discuss swear words. This seems to be the latter rather than the former.
Good.
I watched Blade Trinity last night. might only be the second time I've seen that movie. Not nearly as bad as I remembered.
No, well, it's got Ryan Reynolds and a wrestler in it.
Well, it did occur to me that it might be your favourite film of all time for those reasons. But
if it wasn't for Wesley Snipes, it very well could have been.
See, I don't mind Wesley Snipes. I think I don't know Blade from comics, from anything outside of films really, but I like the character he portrays. I have no problem with it.
I do as well, but if you read about his behavior and things like that during that film, and some of the things that went on behind the scenes, or apparently went on behind the scenes and things like that, it does make you kind of go, you take yourself far too seriously for essentially
an action movie
DVD
star
actor. Yeah,
bit harsh to call him straight to DVD. But
well, I mean, he had a few cinema releases, but the majority of his stuff has been straight to DVD. However, you know, when he did the Expendables 3, the first thing he did was take the piss out of the fact that he got put in jail for tax evasion.
Yeah.
So maybe he doesn't take himself so seriously now that he's been in jail.
Perhaps not. Yeah. But no, I did. I quite enjoyed the movie. I mean, the premise of Dracula and also the guy who played Dracula is a little disappointing.
Yeah, they should have got Gerard Butler in to do it after Dracula 2000. He would have been the ultimate choice.
Maybe. And I remember watching it the first time round. My biggest disappointment was the fact that Triple H is terrible.
Oh yeah,
he's just awful. It's just such a shame. And it's
his own films.
No, I think that's the only thing I've ever seen him in. But it's funny to watch him. And watching it last night in particular, it's funny to watch him and consider that he's doing exactly the same in terms of, he seems to be exercising exactly the same acting muscles and so on that you see when he's in the wrestling programs. But for some reason in the wrestling programs, that's absolutely fine. In these, no, it's just not very good.
Well, it's like the thing that, you know, actors who are really good at theatre are actually really good on screen.
Yeah.
And again, singers who are excellent in theatre don't necessarily make good music albums.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Or, you know, it's a different audience, it's a different environment, things like that. So,
context is king.
Context is king, exactly. But yeah, I mean, in his films, and I can only remember the name of one of them, which was The Chaperone, which was challenging in some ways to watch, but at the same time, you know, that type of film that can be on in the background. And his other one, which I can't remember, which had Michael Rappaport in it as well. Yeah, they weren't the best films in the world. But apparently when they were making Blade Trinity, he had a smaller part, and David Goyer, I think it was, directed it, liked him, so expanded his part a little bit. Which again was between that and Ryan Reynolds stealing the limelight is
that's the thing. You watch it, it's
take his creative control and say, "Oh, it's not, you know."
That was, I guess, the thing that was most obviously poor about the film was the tone was a bit all over the place. Ryan Reynolds is very good at that kind of quick-witted, sarcastic quip element of it, but it just didn't belong in that movie. With uber serious Blade sitting there, even the bits where they interact, like things like "he hates me, doesn't he?" That's funny, but it just felt like it didn't belong. The tone of the film was wrong for the.
It also maybe felt a bit true.
maybe
a bit accurate.
Maybe.
Apparently, they didn't get on very well.
Okay.
So, but yeah, tonally it was kind of all over the place, wasn't it?
Yeah. But as I say, I mean, I watched it just because I hadn't seen it in ages, and I've watched the other two Blade movies semi-recently. I still enjoy the first one. The second one, I don't hate. But the third one, I kind of put off because I remember not enjoying it first time around.
So, speaking of movies,
yes,
seems we very rarely speak about films.
It's true.
There's long been a rumor.
Please, for the love of God, not Michael Bay and Transformers again.
No.
Okay.
Who? What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Who's Mike? Tell me more about this Michael Bay fella.
No,
What's Transformers?
I'm not
No?
gonna. There's something I could say, but I think it's going to trigger you, and I can't do this again.
No, I'm a snowflake about this.
Yes.
So there's long been a rumor that the Poltergeist, the first original Poltergeist film, it has Tobe Hooper's name as director, but there's long been a rumor that Steven Spielberg actually directed it rather than just being a producer.
Okay.
That was perpetuated by the actress whose name is impossible to pronounce, but she plays the psychic.
Oh yes.
Poltergeist 1, 2, and 3. And she was saying that she was on set only for 5 days filming, and Steven Spielberg directed all of those 5 days.
Okay.
So this has long been a rumor, but Tobe Hooper's name's on the director credit for it.
Mm-hmm.
However, I was reading today that one of the guys that was working on principal photography for it, he was there every single day. Steven Spielberg did direct Poltergeist. Tobe Hooper had creative input, but the reason that they did it was there was a possible impending director's strike, which meant anyone who was tagged as a director in a movie, being part of the union, would have been almost forced to walk. So they were filming Poltergeist. So they attached Steven Spielberg as the producer because it wasn't a producer strike, which meant if the strike went ahead, the film wouldn't technically lose the guy who was making it.
Here's the thing. I've just looked this up in Wiki. So first thing you notice on the Wikipedia, Poltergeist is directed by Steven Spielberg. Okay, right, that's fine.
That's probably somebody's just changed it.
It could be, absolutely.
Coming out.
But the first paragraph, 1982 American supernatural horror film directed by Tobe Hooper. Steven Spielberg wrote, produced, but had a clause in his contract to prevent him from directing another movie while he made E.T. Therefore, Hooper was selected to direct based on his work in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Doesn't actually say why it says directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. So which story is true?
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle will be the truth.
It appears as though Steven Spielberg was the main creative. Well, he was the main creative force, but he was also behind the camera force on Poltergeist, which makes it interesting because Spielberg doesn't really dabble in horror. That's his only real. I mean, he made Jewel prior to Jaws, and Jaws was kind of horror as well, but he veered away from it very quickly, and it's a completely different type of horror film than Jaws was.
There's something about Poltergeist. I don't know what it is. I watched the 1982 when I watched it last year sometime, and there was something very Spielbergy about the movie. I think it was the effects. The effects were very Close Encounters.
Could be.
Which shouldn't really make me think of Spielberg. It should make me think of ILM, if anything. But yeah,
very scary
felt
film.
Spielberg.
That tree, and then the bit at the end with the caskets and the dead bodies and everything. I mean, when I watched that the first time, it freaked the hell out of me.
It was one of the movies that I saw as a child that I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, me too.
And I remember it being scary at the time, but then I also feel it's dated quite a lot. It doesn't feel nearly as scary watching it now. Unlike Alien, for example, which was another of the movies, probably the only two scary movies I watched as a child when I shouldn't have. And Alien is still just as terrifying now as it was then. Alien doesn't feel like it's dated at all.
The films I watched when I was a kid that I shouldn't have, or not shouldn't have, but it was probably ill-advised. There was Poltergeist, there was Alien, and there was Exorcist.
I've never felt the love for Exorcist.
All three scared the crap out of me. So, anyway, let's move along once again.
Okay.
Quickly moving through subjects here. Yes. The live-action Aladdin cast has been announced, or the main actors. And Aladdin and Jasmine. So they're doing a live-action Aladdin, because as part of Disney's slate of making live-action versions of their...
I didn't even realize this was a slate. I didn't realize this was something they were doing.
Yes.
Wow.
So Cinderella.
God, we truly live in a whole new world. Thanks.
Oh, God, that was... I wish I'd thought of that one. Anyway, so, and this is going to sound really disrespectful, but the Aladdin and Jasmine are not famous actors. So I can't remember who they are. The genie is a famous actor.
Who is the genie? Oh, wait. Let me see if I can think of so.
You can think. Don't Google. Think.
No. Think
Because Robin Williams is
unfortunately
impossible.
unavailable,
and he's impossible to replace. So whoever it is, and I know who it is, and you obviously don't yet, it's going to have the impossible task.
Are they going to play it the same way, the same level of exuberance and madness and stuff?
I think there will be a level, based on who they've chosen, I think there will be a level of that. There obviously won't be the same skill, because Robin Williams brought a voice skill to that with characterizations. I mean, that's probably the most vibrant character that Disney have ever done.
See, simply for the level of anarchy that Robin Williams brought to anything, my first instinct is Will Ferrell. But I don't think Will Ferrell would be as good as something which I presume is going to have to be largely voiced.
So you're 50% right.
50% right?
Yes.
How can I be 50% right?
Do you want me to explain to you how you can be
Go on
50%?
Go on in.
It's Will Smith.
Really? Wow.
Big Willie style.
That's an interesting shout.
I don't think that's a bad choice. Just looking at it, taking any emotion out of it or anything like that, I don't think that's a terrible choice. I think he's a good choice. But, and people probably felt this earlier on this year when Beauty and the Beast came out, Aladdin is my Disney movie. And Robin Williams is my genie.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
I have a twisted knot in my stomach thinking about a live version.
How are they going to do The Lion King?
I don't know.
Yeah.
If they did it the same way as they did the stage show, it would be very impressive.
I don't know how they've done the stage show either.
Oh, who would have thought out of the two of us that I am the cultured one?
Well, you're the one that's been talking about going to, theatres, not theatres. See, I've already forgotten. Clearly, I don't listen to you. Yeah, galleries and museums and such.
Science museums. The Lion King stage show is one of, if not the best designed stage shows out there. Certainly that I've seen.
Really? Better than Les Mis with the spinning stage and the
miles better.
Really?
Miles better.
It's like a transformer. It's amazing.
It almost is like a transformer. It is amazing.
Okay.
It's fantastic. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. If you haven't seen it, if you have seen it, you know what. And if you haven't, then you're missing something magical. The Lion King show in the West End of London. I'm assuming the West End of New York as well. Is it called the West End of New York? I don't know. No, it's Broadway, isn't it? Broadway.
It's got a different name in New York. What's it called? Broadway. That's what it's called. Yeah.
And I'm the cultured one. Damn it! I've just lost that. Anyway, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. The design, the set design, the way the animals are brought to life. It's fantastic and it's completely unexpected, but it works wonderfully. Who knows how they'll do the movie? I mean, it sounds like it's going to be all CGI, isn't it? More or less an animated film.
Yeah. So is it really then live action?
Well, yeah, exactly. You do kind of get to the point on that one of, what's the point? There are no human characters.
Maybe they're not going to do that one.
No, they are, because I was reading, I can't remember. They announced who was going to be Zazu, and it's not Rick Mayall who's doing Zazu's voice.
Rick Mayall?
No, Rowan Atkinson. Did I say Rick Mayall?
You did. Yeah, he's another one who's unfortunately unavailable.
Yes, I guess he is, isn't he? So Seth Rogen is Pumbaa in it, and John Oliver. John Oliver is Zazu.
Can Seth Rogen sing?
Oh, I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah,
Okay.
John Oliver is Zazu. You know John Oliver?
No, I don't.
You never watched the what's the? He's got a weekly news show on HBO in the US. YouTube John Oliver.
Yeah.
You know who he is? I
can't
remember what it's called. This Week Tonight or something it's called.
Daily Show. He did stuff on the Daily Show. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Last Week Tonight, yes, which is one of the best of these types of shows.
Yeah, I've seen clips.
And they can say anything they want. But Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. So he's doing Zazu. There's a, yes, inverted commas, live action Lion King coming as well.
Goodness me.
But
mocap, maybe? I don't know. Strange.
I don't know. But even if it's mocap, it's still
Yeah. That's the thing.
animation.
But it's considerably different from classic animation.
It is, but I don't know. There's something weird about putting that together in your head.
Yeah.
It then just becomes, in my head, very base. It then just becomes a remake rather than imagining it in a different way.
Yes, but they did. Did you see the Jungle Book? They did recently.
I haven't seen the Jungle Book. No.
Because I guess it's going to be like that. It's going to have to be.
The Jungle Book has Mowgli, so the Jungle Book has human characters in it.
Yeah, but
so
it's that's the only real difference. I mean, it's one human in front of a green screen.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's more than one human in the Jungle Book.
There's the aquatic tart at the end that seduces him with a song.
So, yeah,
it's a little harsh maybe to call it an aquatic tart, but there we go.
And jumping back to Aladdin.
Yes, jumping back to Aladdin.
It's Guy Ritchie that's making it. So it could. It's. I mean, he is really hit and miss.
He really is, isn't he?
Really, really is hit and miss.
His King Arthur's supposed to be appalling.
Yeah, apparently so. But his Sherlock Holmes films were full of fun.
Yeah, that's true.
So he really is massively hit and miss. So who knows what we're going to get? So
yeah, cool.
There we go. A bit of news for you. A bit of news out there for you. It's not just a fact attack. It's a news attack.